The ride on the back end of my Project Overlander here isn't as smooth as it could be, so I'm going to replace that. What's happening, Panda Nation? Peter Von Panda out here with my 06 Jeep Commander Limited, and this is my Overlander, future Overlander. And one of the things that I've noticed here is the back end tends to get a little wobbly, don't we all, after eating a little bit of cake and that red velvet, you know what I'm saying? But what I wanted to do here was tighten it up a little bit, and we can do that with a little bit of plastic surgery. Now, you might not be able to see in here, but if I pull up this light, what you can probably see there now, right there, is the top of the shock absorber for the rear. Now, that shock absorber is not original, but it may have been put in there over 100,000 miles ago because this car has over 217,000 miles. So they have used an aftermarket shock absorber in there. I'm sure it worked fine. But because this car was lifted, the shock absorber is actually supposed to be 2 inches longer, or at least designed to handle the lift. So I actually picked up this Rough Country shock absorbers right there, baby. Oh, 10-stage variable valving. Oh, it's a massive 35 millimeter piston, Detroit piston. And what's great about these Rough Country shock absorbers is that they have them as a direct replacement for your original equipment, but they also make them for a variety of lifts. So this is for the 0 to 2 inch lift, then they had, I think, a 2 to 3.5 inch lift, and then so on and so forth. So you don't have to go to a company, a shock absorber company, have them make something for you. It's going to be a lot cheaper than having something custom made, but for $99, now you can get a shock absorber for the rear of a lifted Jeep or Bronco or Scout or Willys or Hummer or whatever. Whatever you want to keep cool, Tommy. And it's going to come to you really quickly. So the nice thing about this is that I can take those out. All I'm going to need here, I think, is my impact wrench, a 15 millimeter socket, which I have right there, and then the 2 new shock absorbers, because I don't actually even think I need to remove this tire. I think I get to the top bolts from out here, the bottom bolt from in there, and then drop this sucker in. Now, the one thing I want to show you about these shock absorbers is that they are tied down into their compressed state. So they have kind of like one of those packaging strips that used to bundle up newspapers. I used to deliver newspapers as a kid in high school, and they're pretty good looking, all silvery with Rough Country on the side there. It's going to look like an aftermarket thing. My car's going to look like it's a real off-roader or something that's a show car. No, it's not. But it's going to show someone did some work on this car. Let's start getting the old ones off and the new ones on. Now, you want to start with the bottom. That'll take the pressure off the top one. I also had to heat up this lug with a torch to get it loose. All right, so here on the rear tire driver's side, you can see the shock absorber right back there. This 15 millimeter bolt has to come out. Impact wrench is going to make short work of that. Even though I have a bigger tire on here, and luckily it's lifted already, I think I can get my impact wrench right on there and just pull this out. Also keep in mind now, because I have removed the rear bolt, once you get this bolt out, the shock absorber should just kind of fall away. Whew. All right. So this is what progress looks like. One shock out, one about to go in. And the new one doesn't look quite as beefy as the old one, but I know it's going to work. All right. The other thing I want to note is that there were some spacers to hold and brace the top part of the shock in. So I'm actually going to put in the top so that I can get these in there, hold them in, get the bolt back in, get that all threaded up before I put in the bottom. I feel like it's easier to collapse this up with a floor jack than it would be to collapse this down. So I'm going to start at the top. Hopefully that's a wise choice. All right. I'm exhausted. It's just about getting up and laying on the ground and getting up and getting down. But I've got both shocks in there. They look mighty fine. All right, I've been driving around on some uneven road, and if you know Chicago roads, like Michigan roads, are basically like painted on gravel roads. I will tell you what, those rear struts, shocks, are incredible. Holy smokes, do things feel planted. I'm always worried about the placebo effect. I do something, I feel like it's better. I feel like I'm getting more horsepower, but dude, no noise, none of that bouncing, none of that back end just kicking up. It was kind of unreal, actually, how badly, like, the back end would porpoise a little bit. So now it's just planted and solid, and I couldn't be happier. That was a pretty easy job. Depending on how much rust you have, your tools are probably going to work a little hard. But if you want to do that at home, I didn't even need to jack up the car. I don't know what kind of setup you've got. Maybe you don't have as big wheels. Maybe you don't have a lift kit on it. But dude, the bolts to each strut are easily accessible. So highly recommend the upgrade, man. And if you've got a lifted Jeep Commander, you definitely got to do it. I'll put links to everything you need in the description below. Peter Von Panda, out.